Well, hello everybody. I don't think there is anybody at the moment, to be fair. I don't think I gave very much notice for this live stream, but I wanted to do it because it's now into October, and I said that the live streams would be reviewing the work that I did every month, so it's sort of a monthly thing. So I am actually talking to myself at the moment. I don't know if anybody else will join. But what we will do is, because this live stream is saved in the channel, I'll go through with what I plan to go through. Oh, Dawn's arrived. Well done, Dawn. It's you and me, Dawn, so far. You better have lots of questions ready. But yeah, I was just saying that I'm going to go ahead whether there's lots of people on or not, in that it's still a useful video to have on the channel, to review what work I created in the month of September. Might not be as long as half an hour, which is the planned time for these monthly streams, as we might run out of things to say if there's nobody asking questions. Again, the point of this is for people who do follow the channel to ask questions, to request things that they'd like me to work on. Dawn is here. You are here. I've been on, for those of you that follow the channel and have been watching the recent videos, I've been on my first ever painting holiday in September, which was quite an exciting thing. I've often taken some sort of sketch pads and paint away with me when I've gone on holidays generally, but generally my solitary holidays are walking holidays, and I end up so tired and worn out after walking that I invariably don't do any painting and drawing. But this holiday was in a very relaxed place, and it was with the intent of doing a painting a day at least. So to try and build some regularity and learn from each day. And it did work from that point of view. Okay, so let's start by going back to the beginning of September and have a look at the first thing that I did. I think the last thing that was covered in the last live stream was a still life of some marbles that I did in gouache. I think that was covered on the last live stream. If not, we've missed one, but hey ho. That was quite a difficult painting in that I sort of was learning how to use gouache for the first time with a still life. And I sort of ended up painting it twice, but it was very useful because it showed me that with gouache, I could overpaint what I'd done and still end up with a good result at the end. I then moved on to something again. I'm trying to do something different every time that I work. So I'd talked about in August using coloured paper for some of my pencil sketches. So I thought I'd have a go at that and use some coloured pencil crayons to build up some highlights from a mid-tone background and also go down to some shadows. So I went to the British Museum with my friend Dawn after we'd finished work one day. And I took some photographs of various Greek statues and whatever. And this is one of those. And I did the drawing using coloured pencils on sort of a brown paper. And I was quite pleased with the results of it, really. So again, trying to do things differently. Yeah, and I think well done, Dawn. Yes, it does look lovely framed, and a lot of them have been framed because I'm trying to put stuff onto Etsy to sell it, to keep the channel going and to keep me motivated. I have actually sold something this month, so I'll be getting to that in a minute. But yeah, it's quite a nice frame for the sort of tone of the picture. I think really it's a ready-made frame that I had from somewhere or other. I don't know. the range. Possibly I'll get cheap frames from the range and Wilkinson's, but of course Wilkinson's is no more, so I don't know where I'm going to get them from going forwards. But yeah, I think it's quite a successful drawing. That really, it is listed on Etsy if anybody is interested. It's in a U-Dawn. I don't think you're interested, but somebody might watch this after the recording. Who knows? If you go to the Etsy, there's normally a link to Etsy in the description of the videos that I post on YouTube. So yeah, first successful piece of the month. I then, because I knew that I was going away on my painting holiday, thought, well, I haven't really done much plein air painting before, and I'm not really very good at it. And I thought I need to start speeding up and trying with gouache, certainly, because I'm not used to using gouache for landscape painting. I need to learn how to do things quickly, because obviously when you're outside painting, you have to do things quickly. And I took a photograph when I was on a walk with my friend Karen. I started the National Forest Way, and there was a distant view across looking towards Cannock Chase from a raised bit of ground by the river. And I used a photograph that I took, so it wasn't actually plein air painting because I was on a walk that day. But I used the photograph as if I was painting plein air. So basically really quick, really sketchy, just to give the impression of the scene that was before me. And it didn't take very long. I think it was about half an hour, 40 minutes, which is what it needs to be when you're outdoors painting, because of course the clouds move really quickly and the sun changes and that sort of thing. But overall, I was quite pleased with this, really. And it gave me confidence that I could actually do some plein air painting when I went on holiday. Now, in reality, it's bleaching out a bit really there. Maybe if I put it that side, that'd be better. In reality, when I went on the holiday, the weather was awful and there was no real chance of me painting outdoors. I did one sort of half in the car, half out the car, so I could dodge the rain if it came across. But generally speaking, it was not possible. So I was working for photographs, but this gave me the confidence that I could work quickly. Oh, somebody else has arrived. Mad Dog has arrived. Very late to the live show. No worries. At least there's two of us now, or two besides me. This is the painting that I did, sort of the second painting in September, just to catch you up with where we are. So very loose, very quick, a bit lollipop tree, a bit cotton wool clouds. But overall impression again is the scene that I took the photograph of with friend Karen. So that was quite successful. I then returned to pencil sketching in the sketchbook. I've done very little work in the sketchbook this month, just because I've been doing stuff that I've been trying to frame really and to sell on Etsy. But this was from a photograph that I took of a model a few years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, probably, maybe even more. He posed for me. He was quite flexible. And it's just done in pencil to fill a sketchbook page. I'll try and get back to the sketchbook a bit this month coming, because I was loving the fact that I was filling the sketchbook and managing to fill the sketchbook. Just out of interest, I do number my bits of work. So this year, this is piece 35 that I've done, and not just in the sketchbook, but including paintings and stuff. So that's sort of unheard of for me in terms of I'm normally, because of the day job, so tired, I don't do any work. But the YouTube channel is encouraging me to actually work more often. So this was piece 35, and of course I've gone beyond that now. I'm into the 40s now, as you'll see as we go through the stuff that I've done for the rest of the month. But that's the only normal pencil graphite sketch that I've done this month. Quite successful, quite like it. And it is one more page filled in the sketchbook at least. Then friend Dawn, who's on the call now. Thank you, Mad Dog, for saying that you love that picture. I find it, I sometimes don't look at the who's there and who's commenting. So if I don't see you straight away, I'll try and get back to you. Yeah, friend Dawn went on holiday with her mum down to Christchurch, and she sent me a photograph of a boat, a sort of a decaying boat on the mudflats of the estuary. And I quite liked the boat. I didn't really like the fact that there was a sort of a boat storage place behind a building and stuff. So I very much altered the reference photo that I was given by Dawn. I sent by Dawn as a sort of WhatsApp postcard, and made it my own. Thanks, Dawn. Good job, she said. I put bushes behind the boat. It's in gouache, so again, it's not something that I'm used to painting landscapes in, really, but I'm getting there. I've concentrated on it quite a lot this month with the aim of improving at it. So it's not too bad. Quite pleased with it overall. It's on Etsy for those of you that are interested. And a different subject for me. It's sort of like, I suppose, in a way, a still life but outdoors. It's focusing on a particular object in a landscape. And the reason I do still lives is because I like focusing on particular objects, even without a background or anything, just focusing on trying to represent them as they are. So that was the next piece. That was the 4. I think I should have said at the beginning, I think I've done 10 pieces this month, which is pretty good, really, considering I don't normally get that anywhere near that many done. I then did a coloured pencil sketch. Pretty much, I was hoping to be like the bust that we saw at the beginning, that was on a coloured ground. So I returned to that same paper and thought I'll do some highlights and some lowlights and use the mid-tone of the paper again. But this is again of the same model as I did the pencil sketch of that you just saw, the only pencil sketch in the sketchbook. But as I was drawing it, I quite like the subtlety of it. This is obviously on a screen, so it doesn't look quite so good. And the reason I'm showing you on my tablet is because this piece sold the day after I painted it and put it on Etsy, which is a great thing. It went to America. The postage costs to get it to America were not such a good thing. So didn't make hardly any money on it, but because my postage costs were out of date and they seem to have tripled in price since the last thing I posted. But I was quite pleased with it. It's about A4 in size. And obviously it was popular and it sold, which is always good to report. It always gives you a buzz when something sells. So that was good. And I can't show you the actual original because it's in Florida somewhere, or should be in Florida, I hope by now, somewhere. This is the same model as I did the previous pencil sketch. So I was using that photo set that I hadn't used for a long time. I'm hoping to get some more models to pose in the next week or 2. I've been talking to some online, so I might have some new material. So that was that one. That was piece 5, was it? I don't know. And after that is when I went up to near Ulverston on the Furness Peninsulas in Cumbria, near the Lake District, to go on my painting holiday. Didn't do anything on the day that I drove up, obviously, because I had a long drive to get up there. But on the day after that, as the weather wasn't very good, I went for a walk along the beach in the morning when it was dry. It was forecast to rain, but that didn't start until a little later on. And I collected some shells on the beach, some different shells. There was mussel shells and sort of whelks and that sort of thing. And I bought some back to do a little still life. And I know people who watch the channel will know that I do very small paintings. They're called ACEO paintings, or artist trading cards, 3.5 by 2.5 inches. So this was just to sort of get me set up in the shepherd's hut where I was staying, with the easel on the table and the lighting, and just to get used to using that setup, really. In reality, I was hoping to do videos of all the work that I did while I was away. But when I tried to edit the first video, and I did do a video of this, but used my phone to edit it, which wasn't very successful, really. I found that my laptop didn't run Premiere, so I couldn't actually do the editing very successfully. As I say, I did this video that's been on the channel for a while, so you can go and have a look at this video and how this was created. I did it using the phone, which isn't really helpful and not very good. And also it took forever to actually upload it to YouTube, because although the Shepherd's Hut's got broadband, which is amazing considering it's literally on the beach, it took a long time to upload it, so not really very useful for that. And I decided that I would just record the videos of the things I created while away, and then edit those and upload them when I got back. And I've started doing that today. It's like having another day job, because it's a Sunday and I've been working really hard ever since I woke up this morning, trying to get videos ready, and also framing up some of the work that I've done while I've been away, and putting it on Etsy for sale and that sort of thing. So it really is like a second day job today. I've been working very hard on this YouTube channel and art stuff. But that was the first thing I did, and the video for that is live. So please go and have a look at that and let me know what you think. Thumbs up the video if you can. Is that piece 6? I don't know. I've lost count now, but I'm sure there was 10. The next day, the weather was half okay, but really, really, really windy. So I wasn't really feeling very confident. Not being a plein air painter, when it's windy, the landscape changes ridiculously quickly, because the clouds are scudding across and the shadows are there, and the sun's suddenly out and the wind's there, and then the rain's there and everything. And I sort of chickened out even of trying to paint plein air at that point. So I went for a drive instead, with the idea that I would take some photographs, which in dry moments, when I could get out of the car and not get too wet or blown away. And I went up, for old time's sake, up the Duddon Valley, up towards the head of Eskdale and Langdale and that sort of area, up past Dale Head, up past Ulfa. And I used to know that area quite well from when I lived up there for a while, and also I've been on holiday there. So I went up for a little drive and a sit and look at the view, and a bit of inspiration, really. And I took a photo just before I got to Ulfa of a barn I liked from the road. You can't see the road. I'm standing on the road or the edge of the road, looking across the valley, with a barn and some trees in the near foreground, and then looking across at the far side of the valley. So quite enjoyed doing that one. It was in gouache, so quite big for me in gouache. I'm not used to doing that. There's a video that's live of this one now as well. I did that one yesterday when I got back, so you can go and have a watch of this video and see how it was created, and I talk through about the bits that I do like and the bits I'm not so keen about on this painting. It's also up on Etsy already, for sale for those that are interested. I'm trying to, as you'll see in the video if you watch it, trying to sort of be less precise than I used to be. And obviously in still lives I still am precise. But I'm trying to get to the point where I'm confident enough to sort of do random brush strokes that actually imply the texture of what I'm looking at, say bracken or whatever. And I'm not there yet at all, and I'm certainly not brilliant at using gouache yet. I've not worked out all its wrinkles and whatever. But that's the plan, to sort of imply detail without actually painting the detail. So very impressionistic, but the viewer's brain and eyes are really making up the detail. I'm just guiding them with the random brush strokes that I've put on the page. Don't know if I'll ever get there, but that's the plan. So that was that one from a photograph that I took on the Duddon Valley. And then the day after, because it was really very heavy rain, Storm Agnes was coming across, I used another of those photographs that I took that day, looking the other way, pretty much from the same spot, a bit further along as the barn that you've just seen, but looking up the valley instead of back down the valley. And this is in oil paints. So again, not wanting to make life easy for myself, I'm flicking between media all the time as I'm trying to get better at art. by concentrating on it regularly like I am at the moment, not sticking with anything, but just flitting from one to the other and learning as I go. I've used oil quite a lot and for some landscapes, but not normally as big as this. I do like the sky. Thank you, Mad Dog. It is very moody. It does give the impression of the scudding clouds, and I quite like the sort of layout of those clouds as well. They sort of do lead to the center of the picture. They sort of all point in sort of a perspective way to the center of the picture. It doesn't show up very well in this light, but there's better pictures of it. This is on Etsy as well if you want to go and have a look at it on Etsy. And there is a video that I've done today that is due to go live tomorrow morning. I think I put it to go live so you can actually see me create this. And it's quite an interesting video from my point of view in that I'm going through some of the differences between the gouache that I used for the previous painting and the oil that I used for this one, and the advantages and disadvantages of both. So, you know, doing them back to back like that from my point of view was good for me to learn, but I'm trying the video to say what I learned as I was going through. So that was the next one that I did. Generally, I'm quite happy with that one as well. There are bits of it that I'm not, and I talk about those in the video, but I think it's quite successful, and again, quite big for me. I measured the frames that I had before I went away so I could clip paper to the right size to fit the work. The next day I did another oil painting. Again, it wasn't very nice weather, but the morning was quite nice. And I went for another walk along the beach, having a shepherd's sit by the beach. What else do you do in the morning to wake up? You go for a walk. And this painting is quite a small one, as you can see. I think it's 7 by 5 inches. And it's looking across from Aldingham Beach. I think it's Aldingham Beach, which is pretty much where the Shepherd's Hut is, across the Morecambe Bay towards Ingleborough. So that sort of flat top mountain right in the centre of the view is Ingleborough in the Yorkshire Dales. And this one, again, because I've done the oil painting the day before, seemed to work quite well. And I was sort of practiced at doing the skies. Again, I quite like the sky in this one. I think the skies in the oil paints this holiday were quite successful. Don't know if you can see it, but on the edge of that picture, there's a few seagulls as well, which is not like me to put those in, but I did. And again, I've tried to indicate pebbles on the beach here by that random brushstroke work and the right colours to show shadows and that sort of thing. The same with the sea as well. They look like waves, even though they're just little white blobs, really, but in the right shape of white waves, really, I suppose. That's what tricks the eye. But I think the mood, again, is quite good there. It's a serene morning, and I think this was before Agnes was coming across. I don't know. I get confused. It rained every day, so there was an Agnes every day, whether it was the real Agnes or a baby Agnes. It was quite stormy, so it was before the rain arrived for that day anyway, and I actually painted it while it was raining on the roof outside. So I took the photo in the morning, and then it got very wet. Hello, Karen. Yes, the video for this, by the way, she says she's looking forward to seeing how I do the pebbles. It's not very technical. It's basically blob, 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 but somehow blobbing in the right way to make it look like pebbles. But the point of doing a video is that you can actually see how I'm doing it, I suppose, and I learn from it as well as anybody else that's watching, to be honest. I think those pebbles are quite successful, really. And they are just blobs. But the video for this, I have done, but I haven't scheduled it to go yet. It will probably be Wednesday evening, I would think, when this one will go. But if you're following and subscribed to the channel, I'm sure you'll get a notification when it goes live anyway. So feel free to comment on that video when it goes live. So that was the next one. We're getting towards the end now, but considering I used to do a painting or a piece of artwork once every 4 months, the fact that I've done 10 this month is pretty amazing, really. The next one is actually a plein air painting. So this is Gouache. I returned to Gouache. I drove up into the Central Lakes from my shepherd's hut and just decided to drive a circuit of Coniston. Very laid back day. As I got to the end of Coniston, the southern end of Coniston, I pulled into the lay-by. Those of you that know the Lake District will know the view, I'm sure. It was rather lakeish itself. The puddles were all full of water, so I couldn't actually get out the car very well. But I sat there painting this distant view of the northern end of the lakes. So looking through that gap, you end up in Great Langdale. Very impressionistic, very pale, but I quite like its paleness, really. So yeah, that was a gouache painting done on location. The only time that I did anything on location in this holiday, when actually everything was supposed to be on location. But, you know, if the weather doesn't play ball, at least I didn't give up and stop not paint anything anyway. I still painted, but indoors instead. And let's face it, it's easier doing it from photographs, really. And to be fair, I sat for quite a while here after I'd finished the painting, and all of the mountains at the end disappeared. And it was a totally different view, and the colours changed and everything. So it was a good example for me of how quickly you've got to work when you are outside. And it changed as I was painting it, but it certainly changed after I painted it. You wouldn't recognise it from the painting that I'd got by the time it changed. So that was a gouache again. And then I did one more piece before it came wet on the same day. So 2 pieces in one day. So I did something in the evening, and I always paint horse chestnuts and chestnut leaves and whatever. I seem to paint them every other year, if not every year, just because I like them. There's something about them that's very tactile and very visually appealing. I think it's possibly the shiny conker and the fibrous husk and the different textured leaf. And again, I'm trying here to be accurate but loose at the same time. And I think I've sort of got that sort of okay. I certainly like the conkers. I'm less pleased with the leaf. But, you know, can't be perfect. And practice does make perfect. So the more I do, if maybe in 10 years' time, when I've painted 10 more paintings of conkers, at least, they will be much better. I don't know. But that was the last painting that I did on the holiday. And then I didn't do anything the last day I was there. I went out for the day without painting at all, which was a nice change, with a friend there. And we just went around Langdale and had some lunch and those sorts of things. But I felt that I'd done a very good job of painting 6 paintings in 1 week, unheard of for me. So I felt I deserved a day off actually being on holiday. And I haven't painted anything since I got back because I've been too busy editing videos and putting things onto Etsy, as I said before. Well, that's all of the work that I've done this month. And we're almost at half an hour. I won't go over too much. Just to say, Dawn, if you're still there, I know we discussed in the last live stream about doing a flower painting this month. That hasn't been done, but it is still on the to-do list. I can't really stretch a conker and a leaf to a flower painting, but I am going to do a flower painting. I did look at some flower photographs that I've taken in the past and found some likely candidates. So hopefully this month there will be a flower painting. Okay, I think I've bored you all quite long enough. Thank you for those of you that have turned up to watch the live stream. It's greatly appreciated. Yes, I have been very busy. You're right, not only painting and drawing, but working as well. But I hope to produce at least a similar amount of work this month going forwards. The reason I've done the live stream sort of today, when I've been working hard on the videos, is because I wanted to get it in sort of so that it's not too far into October. Otherwise, I'm diminishing the amount of time that I've got in October to create work. But I'll try and get them done just towards the end of each month. And hopefully the numbers of people will grow that join. We've got different people generally, apart from Dawn on this one, than we had on the last one. All we need now is for all of the people who've been on both of them to come on the same time, and it'll be so busy. And well done, Karen. You were late because you were painting. I presume you mean painting a picture rather than painting a living room or something. But well done for you. I will look forward to seeing a photograph of those. You can send it to me on WhatsApp or whatever, and you can. I'll have a look at what you've been working on. I'm glad I'm inspiring somebody anyway to actually do some painting. The point of this channel is to inspire people and to learn together, sort of thing. I'm not an expert by any means, but I can show you how I'm doing it and how I'm evolving, and maybe somebody can pick up some tips from that. Oh, you're watching somebody else's video on painting? Well, that's just rude. I obviously need to improve my videos. Anyway, I'm going to go. Thank you for joining me. I've kept you quite long enough. I hopefully will see you all on the next one. And I look forward to seeing your work, Karen. I still haven't seen any of Dawn's. She's supposed to be having a dabble with some flowers. I don't know if she still is or has given up on that. But hopefully she'll keep going. Okay, so I'll see you on the next one, and do keep tuned for some of the creation videos of the stuff I've done while I've been away. There's 2 of those lined up, and I need to do the last one at some point. Okay, thanks very much. Bye, see you soon.